All right, we'll get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining our Five9 call center session today. My name is Adriana Grella, and I head up the sales team at Unity Connected Solutions. And I'm very pleased to have with me today Walter Wakolowski, who's the Chief Operating Officer at Tour East Holidays, and Jake Butterball, VP of Global Channel Sales at Five9. So thanks again for taking the time to join us today. During the session, please feel free to post any questions into the chat. And as we go through some of the information, we'll be taking some questions and providing you responses along the way. So to start, we've seen a significant shift in customers moving from premise-based systems to the cloud. And these cloud solutions have allowed organizations to be agile and flexible in supporting their business needs. Today, we're going to take you through a success story of implementing the Five9 Cloud Contact Center at TE Active, and you'll hear firsthand a customer's perspective in this journey. So we're going to start on slide 3. Before we get into the technology, we're going to focus on this experience with Tour East. Walter, we have Walter on the line. Before we get into the technology, could you tell us maybe some background about Tour East Holidays?
Sure, Adriana. Thanks. Well, Tour East Holidays has been around since 1976. They started off as basically a travel agent specializing in travel to Asia. And over the years, they've grown. They've taken on additional roles. They've become one of the largest air consolidators in Canada, which means they hold the contracts with approximately 100 different airlines and resell to travel agents throughout Canada, into the US and also into Asia. As of over the 40 some odd years that they've been around, they've grown to a little over 250 employees. And what they did was approximately a year and a half ago, they made a strategic decision to start to diversify the business. So one of the things they wanted to do is get into customer support within travel and also outside of travel, which was a great idea pre-COVID, and continues to be a great idea. So to that end, they brought me in. I've been in call centers for approximately 28 years now. They brought me in as managing director of a new startup, TE Active, which is part of the Canada Tour East Holidays umbrella. And since then, I've moved on to COO of the entire organization.
Okay, great. Well, thank you. Thanks for that the overview. So can you describe the TE Active business and why Tour East decided to spun off into this new business unit?
Yeah, it's being in travel. You know, travel has undergone a few issues over the years with 9/11 from before, and you know, travel's got its ups and downs. And probably starting about 2 years ago, they started working on a strategic decision to try and diversify, just in order to better survive the ups and downs around travel. Plus, the travel industry is changing with new players coming on board, like Expedia and a lot of the online travel agencies. So margins are getting a little lower. So really what they're looking at now is, as I said, get into customer service, support not just travel, but loyalty programs, get into healthcare, e-commerce, technology, and all the other verticals that we can tap into.
Excellent. Very, very exciting times for sure. So you were obviously brought in, you know, to leverage your vast call center experience and expertise. Can you tell us a bit about the process that you went through in going to market and decided what you wanted in a solution?
Sure. I joined the organization back in the spring of 2019. So most of my role at that time was not only to engage with the sales process and try and bring on additional business, but it was to plan the contact center so that we'd be as ready to go as we could as soon as we landed our first customer. So part of that was taking a look at technology and making a decision as to what we wanted to what we wanted to bring on. So the first decision was to look at, and I apologize, Adrienne, if I'm sort of jumping in front of a slide, but first decision was whether we want to bring in an on-premises system versus a cloud-based system. And then the second is, having made that decision, which one do we settle on? Touriste did have a ShoreTel on-prem system, which was getting to be a little bit ancient and didn't provide the technology and the functionality that we needed. So that was definitely we needed to replace. We made a decision very quickly to go with a cloud-based system. What I didn't want to do is, in my 28 years, I've been IT director, I've had management roles, and I've also worked in consulting roles for various companies. And I just see the headaches that come with having an on-prem system. You need to have the right people. You have to carry an IT staff. Also, trying to get capital funding for upgrades or new features and functionality is a tough thing to do sometimes. So with a cloud-based system, we knew we didn't have to worry about any of that. Five9 would do it for us. Five9 would worry about the development and making sure they're always cutting edge, making sure that they've got the redundancy and the business continuity features that we would need. And also it meant no huge upfront costs, so we can operationalize our costs a little bit better.
Right. Well, thank you. And I think you're right. Right in regards to a lot of organizations are looking to try to, leverage the legacy systems that they have in place. But often when you're looking at the investment you need to make and some of the limitations that these systems offer, it really does make sense to kind of look outside and see what's available and what's going to bring you the most value for the investment you're going to move forward with. So absolutely, totally understand that. Now, also when we went through the assessment with you, I recall as part of that selection process, it was really important that the platform was able to meet the immediate business needs for TE Active, but you were looking for more. Can you further touch on this requirement?
Sure. When we hit our first client, really all they needed was voice and email functionality. But what we needed to make sure that we had in place was proper workforce management, the call recording, quality management, all the sort of side functionality that's required to run a call center well. And also what's very important is, especially on an outbound call center, is that we measure the various KPIs, make sure we're running profitably, we're not wasting resources by being overstaffed or not hitting service levels because we're being understaffed. So a lot of the workforce management and day-to-day reporting and dashboarding was critical. The second part of that, however, was there were two things I wanted to do. First thing is I wanted to make sure that I never had to say no to our customer. So if our clients come to us and say, hey, we'd like to do web chat, hey, we'd like to do visual IVR or engage any of the other channels, social media, mobile, that we could say, yes, we're ready for it and we can go. And on our end, all we would have to do is call up Five9 or Unity and say, turn on these features for us. That's something that Five9 could give us, which is not always possible with an on-prem system. Sometimes, it could be cost prohibitive, or some of the systems just don't support that functionality, or we don't have that expertise in-house. Here, we can just make a phone call and get the process started. Right. The other sort of key feature here is I've always thought that, being able to say yes, that we can deliver is a great way of winning customers, but being able to go to our customers, to our clients, and saying, hey, have you thought of this? Hey, have you thought of that? We can do this for you. And being able to really drive where the client goes, being able to do that is what allows us to retain customers.
Right.
Being a true partner, being able to be proactive on their customer needs, and suggesting to them things that they may not have thought of. And once again, you know, the advantage here is Five9's got a team of people that are sort of looking at the industry and looking at the technology and looking at what they can bring on, and rolling it out, and letting me know what it is that I can offer our customers at this point. And so all our quarterly, we handle quarterly meetings with our clients, and we at every quarterly meeting we can put a few slides in the deck saying, hey, have you thought about this kind of stuff? And from that, they've taken us up on a couple of new initiatives that we'll be going through within the next 6 months or so.
Right. And we are seeing that evolution. Often customers want to make sure that there is a roadmap, and their business needs will change, and they need to have a technology and a solution in place that will help them adapt to the changes they're seeing and the requirements they're seeing. So absolutely, with Five9, having those building blocks that we could take the various applications and start with voice, potentially multi-channel or omni-channel, and then start to layer on, WFO, workforce optimization and quality management, artificial intelligence, social media, those types of modules. It may not be an immediate need, but I think you're right. A lot of our customers are seeing that having those available within your solution set is critical to making sure that your business can be successful, not only today, but also in meeting the business changes that are coming. So thank you. So Walter, once you've decided that the Five9 solution was the right contact center technology for TE Active, what was your next step, and what criteria did you use as part of that process?
Well, the next step, so we had some very, very tight timelines when we signed our first client, and we signed the contract with them on November 17th, 2019, and we were asked to go live on December 16th, 2019. So about a month in order to get this set up, and obviously a week and a bit before Christmas was a launch date. So there were a lot of things, as you can imagine, that we had to get ready from an HR perspective, from some processes, going through their technologies, going even the site. We signed a lease a few days after November 17th, and the landlord had to basically get the premise and rebuild everything and put furniture in, all that stuff. So my hair got a lot grayer in that timeline. I got very little sleep that month. It caught a cold and kind of had to work through it pretty bad. But the one thing I didn't have to worry about was Unity. Unity was, and Five9 was the smoothest part of the whole thing. When we engaged, Five9 assigned key resources. They were aware of the timeline, and on every call, whenever I'd freak out a little bit or start to panic a little bit, they'd say, no worries, we got this. It's we've done it in shorter time, which gave me a lot of confidence, and I was amazed that it's exactly what they did. They went through, they did a detailed project plan. They walked me through what the implementation would be, what they would need from us, what they were going to be doing. We got them everything they needed, and they didn't miss a single timeline on the whole thing. There were, we'd have meetings where we'd go through some user acceptance testing, and we'd identify an issue, and 10 minutes into the meeting, the tech would come on saying, that's fixed, can you test that again? Five9 was basically about a week early on delivering what we needed to, which was phenomenal. I'd never worked with an outsourcer that was this organized and this skilled in standing up a solution.
Right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, for putting your trust in us. And yeah, no, I agree that the timelines were a bit aggressive, and I think at first there was a bit of a surprise in trying to look at that short timeline. But I know that we all gathered together, and there was a focus in getting things done for you, and bringing the right people to the table.
Yep.
Did you have anything further, Walter, that you wanted to mention?
No, it's like I've said, just my experience with Five9 and Unity has been phenomenal. It's we had gone through looking at all the regular players in the industry on on both an on-prem as well as a cloud-based solution. And when we made the decision with Five9, there's always a little bit of doubt, but at this point I have zero doubt. They've continued that sort of level of service even post-launch. If we have any issues, we just give them a call. They get it fixed pretty quickly.
Well, thank you. That's great to hear. And you're right. I mean, a lot of times in implementing, premise-based solutions, there is a longer time frame because obviously there's equipment that has to be put in place. There's a lot of different elements that have to be, set up and provisioned. However, when you look at a cloud type offer, those things are already in place. They're in the cloud, they're operating, they're working at the latest version, having all the feature functionality that a customer could want is already there in place, and it's really a matter of customizing it and invoking it for your particular environment. So again, cloud allows you to be that more nimble type organization and activate and put these capabilities in place for your business to make sure that there's no limitations or no doubt that services can be delivered to your customers. So thank you. In regards to the implementation, I mean, we look at the timelines and wow, it was less than a month. So obviously the timelines were aggressive. From your experience as a customer, how did you feel the overall, the formal practice sort of rolled out? And is there any additional feedback you want to give us in regards to this methodology?
No, I mean, this slide that you're showing pretty much sums it up pretty well. We did get a lot of documentation as to sort of what the expectations, the inputs, the outputs are at each stage. So we were given a very clear roadmap and some very clear resources. Just to also put this in scale, that this launch was for approximately 65 agents. And the client we won had about 5 different customers of their own. So it's not just one program that we had to launch with 10 agents. It was 65 and 5 programs kind of thing that we had to do.
Wow.
Which made it a little more complicated. But yeah, no, the process was clear, well documented, and the communication was excellent as well.
Yeah, it's incredible. Joe, I know we have you on the line from Five9. Any further comments on your methodology and the success we've seen with Five9 and the implementation?
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Oh,
Hi,
okay,
Joe.
good. Hi, everyone. No, and Walter, thanks for that. Those comments on the deployment being as smooth as it was, and that's kind of what we do. And one of the things that I want to stress on the deployment itself is the fact that the team is dedicated. We put 2 or 3 or 4 different people on that specific implementation, right from a program manager, right from a sales consultant, solution consultants, etc. So thank you very much. And yes, that's kind of the methodology that we enforce on each one of our deployments.
Yeah, thank you. And I want to also, assure everyone that it's very much a joint effort. We're Five9 and Unity. We're aligned, and we're working together for a successful, end state, and making sure we're successful in delivering what we need to for you as the customer and for your business. So this is a methodology that basically follows best practices. Although there could be times where we need to tweak things and adjust things along the way, our team is very sort of flexible and can react to any changes. However, the formal stages and the tasks are pretty much in place, and they do a really good job in delivering what we have to deliver in the time frame that we're given. So thank you. All right, next slide. So just in regards to the system now was in place for T-Active, and it was in place for just over 3 months. And then COVID hit, and obviously that changed a lot of things. So Walter, how did COVID affect your business, T-Active, and what are some of the key things that changed once we were put into this situation?
Yeah, so there are a few elements that we had to look at. First of all, as you can imagine, our call volumes shot through the roof. We are in travel, and with COVID and lockdowns and travel bans being put in place, there were a lot of cancellations, so everybody was calling in at the time. We were, I believe our call volume was 3 to 4 times higher than forecasted. So a few things we had to do. First of all, we had to just ramp up very, very quickly. More SIP trunking, more licenses, more agents on at one time. And that's something that we were able to get Five9 and Unity to work on and implement very, very quickly. Just to give you some feedback, like Air Canada, for example, was running 8-hour wait times for a period of time. We never sort of exceeded 1-hour wait times in our call centers, and then we managed to get that under control. So the one thing with Five9 we're very happy about is just the ability to scale very quickly. I'd hate to have an on-prem system and have to go to Bell or whoever to try and get more trunking in place. This is something we could do very quickly. The other thing we had to do was immediately transition to agents working from home. So that's not always easy to do. There's obviously there are technology concerns and operational concerns and security concerns. On the security and the technology side was actually really easy. Within 3 days, we had all our agents working from home. Within the first day, we probably had about a third of our agents online working from home. They basically just took their little computers and monitors. We bought Uber rides for them. They took them in the car and took them home, plugged them in, and started going. The only issues that we had at all were basically localized issues where an agent may not have had sufficient bandwidth, which we had to kind of work through. But on the Five9 side, everything was fine. It didn't matter if they were sitting in an office or at home or wherever, as long as they got good enough internet. As part of this, also, one of our clients' customers is a bank. So it's a major Canadian bank. So they were very concerned about security on it. So we had to go through basically a full security audit within a week or two with these. And it was really nice to be able to pull up some of the documentation that we get from Five9, which talks about the security methods and practices and technologies and certifications that they have in place, and say, hey, look, our technology is solid. All we need to worry about here is, making sure agents aren't using private or open Wi-Fi and things like that, which we can handle. So it was, we were starting from a very solid foundation on the security side.
Right. And I think we've seen that across the board. Organizations that were running more cloud-based environments were able to ramp up and adapt much more quickly than obviously some customers that may have been running more traditional type environments in regards to remote connectivity, making sure their users had access into the technology, making sure security was addressed with VPN access or VPN-less access, depending on what limitations they had within their network. So all of those were a bit more challenging for customers that weren't running in this type of environment. And I know, Walter, shortly after this lockdown happened, you and I connected on some of these requirements, and you guys were already working in that mode very, very quickly due to this solution being in place. and some of the things that you were able to adapt to and bring on, earlier in the year. So good timing, it sounds like, although you were into your, I guess, fourth month at this point. It was much smoother, I think, mode for you to change, sort of having the agents in the office now and have them work remote. So much more seamless, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been working from home for 6 or 7 months now. And again, no issues in that time at all.
Right. And it sounds like that
So,
addressed even the responsiveness of your service to your customers, because as you said, you were able to maintain, very high level service ratings, be able to respond to customers, where I think in all of our lives, we had some form of exchange of communication or contacts with organizations where we did experience delays, where we couldn't get a hold of services or individuals we had to, due to just the change in businesses, right? Trying to adapt. And some took a bit longer, but definitely, we were able to make the change seamless and very smooth for you. And obviously, your customers were able to get through and get service much more quickly than in some instances. So looking ahead, Walter, what's next for TA Active and your call center business? And does Five9 align with your business objectives and your focus?
yeah, certainly does. We've got a very active pipeline. We're launching 2 more major customers this year. So we'll be growing. Plus, we're involved in a number of sort of late stage RFPs at this point, which we're feeling very confident on a couple of them, which should double to triple our size next year. So we're growing. We're growing very quickly. We are well, okay. So on a few of these RFPs, we're able to respond in very creative fashion as to, yes, we can not only deliver what you're asking for, but we can also do this and this and this for you. And have you thought of that? And these are things that we're able to do because we do have Five9 in place. It's not something that, if we promise it, we know it's something that we can deliver within a matter of weeks or months. It's not something that we need to go out and spend a huge amount of money and onboard expertise in order to deliver.
Right.
So
yeah.
It really sets us up. One of the RFPs actually talks a lot about our vision for call centers, how they're going to look in the future, and some of the technologies that are going to be there, and the structure of it. And Five9 just gives us a ton of flexibility.
Excellent. That's great news. Great to hear, and definitely wish you all the best in this growth and these exciting plans at TA Active. And thank you for taking the time to share your experience with us. And we're very happy to be your selected technology partner. We know you were working with an incumbent, and obviously putting your trust in Unity. We appreciate that. And we're totally committed to continuing our partnership and making sure that we can deliver value to you and your business moving forward. So thank you, Walter, for sharing this with us.
Anytime, and thank you.
All right, thank you. So I'm going to ask if there's any questions at this point. We have Paul, who's moderating in the background. Paul, do we have any questions at this point?
Yes, there were a couple of questions there, Adriana. The first one was about just the fact that it's cloud. Did you not have any concerns about migrating to a cloud solution? And if so, how is it meeting your uptime requirements?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. Yes, obviously we had concerns with migrating to cloud. It's always a little scary to, I'm an IT guy and from my background, so it's always a little scary to sort of hand the IT process off to somebody else and let them manage it. On the other hand, it's also a heck of a lot of work in order to have it in-house. So weighing the two options, I mean, there's pros and cons to both, but for us, it just made a lot of sense to go with cloud. Sorry, what was the second part of that question, Paul?
Oh, it's just about whether is it meeting your uptime requirements? I guess it's because of
Right.
the fact that it's cloud, right?
Yeah, the nice thing about this is we have access to 2 data centers. So we've had a couple of minor outages where some SIP trunks went down, but or maybe there was a patch or something stopped working. But with that, we as soon as we reported it, within 15 minutes we were moved over to the backup site and back up and running fully. So our uptime has been phenomenal. I think we've probably had a total of, in the last 8 months or so, we probably had a total of maybe an hour. No, probably not even that. Probably half an hour of downtime on 2 separate incidents, which is actually pretty good. And I do monitor the Five9 sort of uptime over the last 12 months or something. So no, I don't have any worries about that.
And then the other question we had coming in was sorry, this is the wording. In Walter's analysis, how did Five9 compare against the other cloud contact center offerings that you checked out?
Yeah, so we did check out a few others, which pretty much everybody knows who they are. We did get some demos. We did look through. Functionality wise, they all promise the same kind of stuff. They have the same functionality built in. Some are stronger in certain areas, others are stronger in others. The things I liked about Five9, there are 2 things basically that made us make the leap. Number one is you guys partner with a lot of outside people. So whenever we looked at it and said, okay, well, what if our client wanted to use Zendesk? What if we wanted to bring in, some other workforce management system? We never got a no. We never got I'll have to look into that. The answer has always been, oh yeah, we do that. We've done that. It's a proven integration. And then the other thing is, and I think this is reflected in the Gartner chart, is just your ability to deliver. And this was huge for us because we knew we'd be under a tight timeline going in, and it was a 1-month timeline. And from everything I've read, from all the research we did, I had heard that Five9 delivers very well. They've got a very good implementation team in place. So that was a huge factor in making the decision. Does that answer the question?
Yes, excellent.
That's great. Thank you.
Paul, any other questions?
No, that's it right now. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks again, Walter. I'm now going to turn it over to Five9 just to give everyone an overview and some more information on the actual product and solution and its availability within the market. So we had a bit of a last-minute change. We have Joe Gaudet on the line. He's the National Channel Sales Manager. So Joe, maybe you can take us through some of this information.
Yeah, I think we have Jake. Jake, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Jake.
Yeah, well, we got creative. I had a minor technical issue, but I got to tell you guys, that was an outstanding overview. Walter, thank you very much. And to the entirety of the Unity team, thank you for letting us be a part of this conversation. We're really proud of this partnership, and it's good to be here today.
Excellent. Thank you. Thanks for joining.
So would you like me to dive into the next few slides here?
Sure, if you can take us through. Sure,
yeah,
go
absolutely.
ahead.
So yeah, by way of introduction, I know it was said at the beginning, but Jake Butterbaugh here. I am the Vice President of Global Channel Sales for Five9. I have a team of resources that are focused on building partnerships and delivering on the value propositions that Walter highlighted. In terms of Five9, I'm not sure if everybody knows who we are in detail. But we're a roughly 19-year-old company, publicly traded on the NASDAQ, and we've been growing very naturally for the last several years. And with the transition of the CCaaS market, we've been growing aggressively over the last couple of years, and it's an exciting place to be. There's a massive amount of transition in the contact center space, not just from the prem to cloud move, but just in general in terms of people demanding more from their contact centers. So we've been incredibly proud to be named a leader in Gartner's Magic Quadrant, to consistently be named a leader from Forrester and all the different analysts. And, you know, that's hard-fought turf. And you establish that by being loyal to your value proposition, being loyal to your partners, and being loyal to your customers. And so we drive hard towards that. And if you click on the next slide, I'll highlight a little bit more about who Five9 is. But it's not refreshing live on me. But I'm assuming you're seeing the EQ platform slide at this point in time. And if you are, the term itself may be something you recognize, it may not be, but we recently launched some messaging around our EQ platform focus. And it's sort of a play on the IQ, but it really highlights a couple of the areas where we focus our value proposition. And the first is the customer EQ, the second is the agent EQ, and the third is the business EQ. And what that really means is we recognize that we have to really focus in on the ultimate customer experience. You need a CCaaS platform that delivers the customer, the actual end customer's experience in a nice, efficient fashion across multiple types of channels, right? Whether it's a voice-related situation or an omni-channel related situation. But you also need to have a focus on the agent experience, right? You want to deliver a platform that the agents want to use. The supervisors understand how to get the most out of it. The admin have an experience that's good. And ultimately, you want to have a platform when you're looking at CCaaS that delivers the full business emotional quotient. And what that really means in shorthand version is you got to have a solution that delivers business outcomes, right? You can't just have technology for the sake of technology. You have to have a CCaaS solution that's aligned at the specific business outcomes you need. When Walter highlighted the fact that, hey, we need to transfer to work from home, well, that's a business outcome all of a sudden, right? That we had to be able to deliver. And because of the way we were architected, because of the way that Five9 grew up, born in the cloud, and ultimately now mature in the cloud, we are able to deliver that outcome. And the last thing I will highlight that isn't shown here is sort of, and I'll say it tongue in cheek, the PQ, the partner quotient. We are really focused on making sure that together we can deliver more. And so when we highlighted the workflow and the way in which things got deployed with Unity, you know, that was a partnership effort, and we're really focused on making sure that we deliver that. And I just think that's important to highlight. But a bit more about Five9 on the next slide is, you know, I noted we're 100% cloud. That's our focus. We refer to ourselves as 100% organic in that we are growing our own solutions. And one of the things that I think a lot of people initially think from somebody who knew Five9 from years ago is that it's maybe a smaller SMB CCaaS play. But what's exciting now is that a large portion of our business is focused on the enterprise-based growth, adding multiple domains, adding multiple projects, expanding who we are. And that's ultimately why top organizations are choosing Five9, whether it's a small business, medium-sized business, large enterprise, Crown Corp, what have you. We are a solution that meets all areas. And ultimately, as you see on this slide here, we have a lot of modules inside of Five9. And on the base layer, you can see sort of the core capabilities that are needed in all contact center environments. And you know, we have a voice, an ACD, omni-channel, all of our microservices. All of those are designed to deliver that core functional capability that's needed in this CCaaS. But we are also really uniquely focused on making sure that we work with all the different CRM players, the right WFM players. We are adding things like our Genius Agent Assistant, our Agent Desktop, our AI capabilities. And we're also introducing things like workflow management. So we have a capability that in legacy terms was known as Windu, but and you see it on this slide, but it introduces a whole lot of incremental CCaaS workflow capabilities that ultimately build out the reach of our platform into social media, into all the different apps that are required to be integrated to a world-class CCaaS environment. So we work hard. I loved the overview that Walter gave regarding how we strive to deliver high quality in a rapid fashion. And the other slide and the highlights that Walter brought up about our focus on reliability is incredibly important. So we recognize, even in the fact of what our name is, that our job is to make sure that we deliver a quality solution designed to deliver business outcomes that is able to be deployed with our partners, and ultimately one that's highly reliable and consistently delivers the results that you all expect and all of our customers expect. And then the final slide, or the final message that I would like to share, is our investment in Canada. So we've had many live customers in Canada for years now, but here recently we've opened up a data center, and we will continue to build out redundancy within that in Canada. So we recognize how important that is, how that's a requirement, and we're really proud of that investment and how we've pushed that into the real world. So I think with that, I can hand it back over to you. Hopefully that was helpful.
That was very helpful. I think Adriana must be on mute there. Adriana?
Oh, thank you. Yes, thanks, Paul. So thank you, Jake. Appreciate that. And thank you very much, Unity. We're very excited, and we're pleased to have been awarded the Five9 Canadian Partner of the Year for year 2020. And this is the second year in a row. So we were just awarded this last week. And very, very pleased. We're very customer focused and obviously a trusted partner for many of our customers. And the experience we've seen with Five9 really goes across multiple industries. So different industries that we've really delivered Five9 and been able to deliver what they've needed to provide services to their customer. So the culture really is all around relationships and really bringing in the experts to help customers build out what they need to in their organizations. So again, very, very pleased. Thank you for the award, and we'll continue to do what we do with our customers and obviously work in tangent with Five9 to deliver these industry-leading solutions to them to be able to really ensure that they can go to market and provide service to their customers and business. Just to give you a bit of background, I think some of you may know Unity and know a little bit about us, but Unity is a full service organization. We're a technology organization and also systems integrator. So in addition to contact center, Unity can deliver unified communication, both in the cloud and premise-based, but also network services with SIP services and SD-WAN. So we take all of the services that we provide and we bring that into a full scope with professional services and teams that really help ensure that you can maximize the value in the investment that you're making. In addition to that, we have a managed services group to deliver the ongoing support that you need to ensure that you get the maximum uptime and that the maintenance of the solution is looked after. So again, looking at that full service partner that you can trust and rely on to deliver all of those elements. As part of the Five9 partnership we have, Unity delivers SIP trunks and SIP services. And the SIP services are delivered as a migration often to current telco services that customers have. So in addition to potentially PRIs, analog services, toll-free, Unity will work with you very closely to analyze the current services and help you transition those to SIP. And SIP provides a lot of flexibility in helping you manage your business, in particular your call center. So we take that whole area that you have today and we look at that and migrate it over to SIP, porting over particular phone numbers and toll-free to deliver a solution that's offers high availability. It has geo-redundancy built into the environment. So you do have backup on the SIP services side. The network is backed up with ultimate failover, so that provides 100% business continuity on the trunking side to make sure uptime is maximized. And in addition to that, the SIP services offers capacity on demand. And as we've seen, organizations in the past with legacy type architectures, often had to be provisioned for maximum capacity. Therefore, you have a higher cost threshold. With SIP services, you're able to reduce your costs. And with Unity SIP, we have the capacity on demand, which allows you to manage spikes in your business, whether it's a certain seasonal type spike you're seeing, whether it's a situation like we've recently had with COVID, where certain organizations have seen higher volumes of calls into their call centers. Unity SIP allows us to manage that by giving you that burst ability to get to the capacity you need and only when you need it. So you're not paying for it on an ongoing basis, but it's there for you as required. So really those SIP services are what we deliver as part of the value add with Five9, and we bring that into the Five9 architecture, and we manage all of that for you. In addition, our SIP services are certified to work with most of the leading manufacturers out there when it comes to telephony, whether it's Cisco, Avaya, Mitel. So we could help and build that roadmap for you to introduce SIP trunking into those environments, as well as Microsoft Teams, where we're seeing many of our customers looking for the ability to bring in telephony into that Teams environment. So another one of our areas where we could use SIP services, Unity SIP services, to provide that fully encompassing telephony experience. So when we work with our customers, and the reason why the customers really look at Unity as their trusted partner, there's really some key areas where we can deliver. Obviously, our expertise. We've been in the industry for over 20 years. Most of our resources are seasoned resources that have been in the communication field for many, many years and can help with the transition to cloud. And really relying on our manufacturers that we represent, who are leaders in their market, to really offer these state-of-the-art solutions that have full functionality available, that are very reliable and robust, and can give our customers the flexibility they need in managing their businesses. So, expertise, the solutions, the reliability of the platforms we represent, those are all key to making us successful. And in addition to that, the service we offer, not only from the moment it gets installed, but day 2 support. Unity is your partner who's available 24/7, and obviously we're there for any support requirement that you might have. And we have some top talent available on the support side as well, offering best-in-class service to make sure that service is there for you to rely on. So thank you to everyone who's attended. At this point, I'm just going to see if we have any further questions. I'm going to check with Paul.
Hi, Adriana. Actually, we do. The first one is, how does the system handle credit card transaction between customers and agents?
Okay, great. Maybe Jake, can I have you take that one?
Yeah. You guys good? Hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Okay, cool. The truth is we have a variety of ways of handling credit card payments, and we would sit down and understand with each customer what they need. We can redact via WFO solution with blackout capabilities. We have a secure pay IVR, which is a package we can add. But the net of it would be, it's obviously a focus, and we have all the necessary compliance capabilities to allow us to help support that. So very common request, very happy to help make sure people understand what to do.
Yeah, thank you.
There was one here that may have been answered already, but it's what are Five9's growth plans for Canada? I know there was a slide there that where Jake talked to the Canadian data center, but I don't know if there's anything else to add to that one.
We would say lots of them. So lots of them. That's what we're looking for. I think it's a wonderful market. We love doing business in Canada. We have made the investment in the data center capabilities. We'll continue to expand on that. We've increased our marketing. We've increased our staffing. We are most certainly focused on expanding in all sectors of the Canadian market. And I know that one of the questions that also came in was, do we have verticalized solutions that we can share? And the answer to that is absolutely. We've been making some investments in sharing some of our vertical experience. I think it's one of the next waves of Five9 from a public-facing perspective, but I want to make sure that's Five9 and Unity from a public-facing perspective. So certainly major markets and something we absolutely intend to continue to grow in.
Right, thank you. And I think just to sort of add to that, Unity, we have offices across the country, so we're a national organization in Canada, coast to coast. And it's very important for our customers that do have multiple sites in Canada, in that we can offer and we can ensure that there's a consistent and fully managed approach when we're implementing the technology. So across the board, yes, in Canada, we also have presence into the US, should we need to, obviously integrate that into the plan as well. But definitely very excited with the recent Canadian plans with Five9, and definitely we're going to be growing the market here in Canada.
And there was actually two more questions, but they are somewhat related, so I'm going to ask them together. One was, does Five9 have any specialized vertical solutions? And then the other one was, do Unity and Five9 have any client case studies by vertical?
Yes, I've actually seen case studies that we have on file in regards to specific verticals. So happy to share that with you. In particular, I know recently Walter and I have been working specifically on some healthcare opportunities, so definitely some opportunities there and case studies that were completed in the healthcare vertical, but again, also in the financial, insurance, municipality. We have a lot of expertise. Recently, we've done a case study in the municipality industry. So definitely a lot of resources available to us, and happy to collaborate and share that with you as we continue the discussions.
Okay, that's all that we have. Yeah.
Okay. All right, great. All right. So again, thank you everyone so much for your time. Again, we really appreciate you taking this time to be with us and listen to some of this preliminary information and a bit of an overview on the Five9 Unity offer and solution. Thank you again to our special guest, Walter from Tour East. Always very insightful to have, someone's firsthand experience as they've made the move and the migration over to cloud, and to hear, some of the good, maybe some of the challenges, but very exciting times for sure. All attendees are going to receive a follow-up survey, so hopefully you have a few minutes to maybe share any additional information or feedback with us. We are going to have some giveaways, and there's some Amazon cards and a Jabra headset. So in order to qualify, once you submit your survey, your name will be submitted, and they'll pull some of those out, and then they'll be contacting you directly. All right, and for more information, we've noted some of our contact information here on this screen with some websites for TE Active and Five9 in particular. But again, thanks everyone for joining. We hope you found this session valuable, and we look forward to further discussions. Please, we want to hear from you, and we want to be able to maybe have some more specific discussions with you on how Unity and Five9 can bring value to your business. Thank you.